Prescription drugs greatly contribute to public health, but they're expensive to develop, which brings economics front and center. Drug insurance plans understand that it is wasteful, namely requiring premiums that are too high to attract members to have third-party payment and leave the benefit unmanaged. Benefit management is fundamentally an economic activity involving plan design such as allocating drugs to different copay tiers, drug utilization reviews that help improve drug effectiveness, obtaining rebates and discounts from those providers whose sales are increased by the plan. Group purchasing and negotiated discounts are even more valuable when manufacturers and pharmacy companies are monopolistic or oligopolistic. Buyers clubs can and do take a small amount of competition among sellers and magnify it. Naturally, they benefit buyers, but it is not a zero-sum game. Buyers clubs benefit buyers more than they cost sellers, and sometimes benefit sellers too. Group purchasing and negotiated discounts are tools familiar from buyers clubs such as Costco and Sam's Club. Costco members may not have a particularly price-sensitive demand for specific brands of, say, skateboards, but skateboard manufacturers, if they dealt with them individually, would hike their prices. But Costco limits who can sell to their members to those pricing the lowest. Sellers' best response in this situation is to steeply discount and partly make up on volume. Lower prices and higher quantities are the proof that buyers clubs are pro-competitive. PBMs are buyers clubs for members of multiple drug plans. Much like Costco excludes skateboard manufacturers, PBMs can place a manufacturer's products to incentivize discounts for consumers. Any buyers club requires resources. These costs limit the scope and degree of involvement of buyers clubs in the economy. Costco and PBMs have innovated to become more productive and thereby expand their contribution. Keenly aware of the common economics, Costco itself has gotten hugely into the business, purchasing, I believe, 3 PBMs of different types. Regulation is likely to be the opposite of this process by raising management costs and reducing discounts received by members of health insurance plans. Indeed, drug plans and their PBM agents have done a remarkable job at getting prescriptions to the patients who need them. Studies repeatedly show that drug utilization is essentially as high before patent expiration as it is after, even though the cheaper generics are available only after expiration. PBMs and plans also do the advanced financials for unique new drugs under development so that plan members can get access as soon as possible after FDA approval. Sadly, European patients do not have PBMs working for them, and they are treated with less effective, older generation oncology and other drugs. With the federal government as a partner in paying premiums and medical procedures that can result from poor adherence, PBMs help taxpayers too, and thereby the wider economy. I estimate that benefit management expands the economic pie more than $145 billion per year. The other side of the coin is that manufacturers and pharmacy companies may push for regulations to restrict the activities of buyers clubs. I estimate that a variety of such regulations benefit manufacturers and pharmacy companies to some degree, but at greater cost to patients, plans, and taxpayers because the regulations forego part of that $145 billion. In the likely case that large incumbent PBMs better adapt to regulation than smaller new ones do, another unintended consequence would be reduced competition, namely growing the big PBMs at the expense of the little ones. Section 2 of today's bill gives PBMs 2 compliance options, one requiring them to publicly disclose their remuneration, and the other prohibiting pharmacy discounts that are obtained, quote, arbitrarily, unfairly, or deceptively. How will Ms. Chairman Khan interpret those words? I don't know, so I worked out a few different scenarios. One scenario involves significant costs to protect pharmacy companies from competition, adding between $8 and $11 billion annually to the federal deficit. Another scenario is dominated by the mandatory disclosures that, as DOJ, FTC, and others have warned, may undermine competition among manufacturers and among pharmacies and among PBMs. The annual net cost of reducing just manufacturer competition could easily exceed $25 billion annually and add $20 billion annually to the federal deficit. Also reducing pharmacy and PBM competition could potentially bring the total addition to the deficit of $40 billion annually. Thank you, and I welcome your questions.